The vibe went from 0 to 100 real quick. Gravity took the wheel and that poor teacup didn't stand a chance. It hit the deck, exploding into a million sharp little fragments across the carpet like a grenade went off. You know it is serious when the fine china gets sacrificed. Eito comes flying in from the right, absolutely losing his marbles. He is screaming his lungs out for his lady, acting like she just took a critical hit and was about to get sent to the lobby. The man has zero chill. He is frantically checking her for ketchup leaks, thinking the worst. But Hoshine, she is frozen solid. Statue mode. She completely ignores the jagged glass threatening her feet because she has bigger problems. She looks him dead in the eye and demands he run that back. Repeat those last words right now. Panic mode engaged. Eito starts stuttering like a broken record, desperately trying to find the undo button on his keyboard. He realizes he messed up big time and is trying to backpedal, but the words are already out there. You can see the regret washing over his face in real time. The Tenjo estate runs tighter than a military drill. Sunlight hits the mansion walls, and the maids throw open the curtains with lethal precision. Kitchen staff are sweating bullets over breakfast, while the valet polishes the car until the reflection blinds innocent bystanders. Hoshine struts through the hall, and the staff bows down like she is royalty. Because let's be real, she basically is. Inside the parlor, Eito treats tea brewing like bomb disposal. He stares at the hourglass, timing the steep to the exact millisecond. One wrong move and it is game over. He hears footsteps approaching and snaps to attention instantly. He executes a flawless bow and serves up a first flush Darjeeling. Hoshine accepts the cup, lifting it for a slow, deliberate sip. The air in the room freezes as everyone waits for the verdict. She smiles. It is a masterpiece. She praises the selection, and Eito tries to play it cool with a humble brag about his experience. But inside his head, he is doing backflips and screaming, "Let's go!" The vibe shifts instantly. Hoshine senses rain. Eito checks the forecast, and it says 100% sun. He does not even hesitate. He cancels the gardening plans immediately. If she says rain, it is going to rain. Her intuition is a cheat code that never fails. She knew they would be classmates months ago. Honestly, being right all the time is starting to get boring. She is desperate for a little chaos in the server. Hoshine is playing 4D chess right now. She leans in with that innocent look, asking if anything unusual happened lately, but her eyes are scanning him for weakness. Eito just sips his tea like he is not sitting across from a predator. He actually stops to think about it, then he drops the tactical nuke. He casually mentions someone from another class confessed to him. Hoshine's brain short circuits. Her hand spasms so hard the teacup launches into orbit before gravity remembers it exists. You have to understand the power dynamics here. Tenjo Hoshine is built different. She is rich, a genius, and has supermodel looks. The universe usually bends to her will without her lifting a finger. But this is the one variable she cannot patch out. Panic mode engages. She lunges forward and grabs his arm with a grip strength that could crush coal into diamonds, demanding the results immediately. She is in his personal space, breathing his air. Eito admits he turned them down, but Hoshine is not buying it yet. She stares into his soul, looking for a micro-expression of a lie. He swears on his life. The tension snaps, and she collapses into the chair like a puppet with cut strings. Eito immediately switches to Butler mode, checking for burns, but she just waves him off, ordering him to clean up the disaster zone. She tries to regain her composure and act like a dignified lady until Eito mentions the kicker. It was not just one confession, it was a combo streak. That information shatters her brain. A second cup hits the floor. Logic has officially left the chat because she starts flailing her bare legs near the jagged glass shards like she is trying to fight the floor. Eito has to physically stop her from self-delating on the pottery, so she goes for option B. She whips out her wallet and literally tries to buy the confessions off him like this is a pay-to-win mobile game. He looks at her like she is completely cooked. He explains it was just a weird coincidence, but Hoshine is already running the calculations. She demands a timeline. He pinpoints the date to her recent family trip. The realization hits her like a truck. She left the main character unsupervised for 3 days. That is a rookie mistake. She vows to never let him out of her render distance again. Then she remembers her dad was the one who made Eito stay behind. She whips out her phone, ready to send a digital declaration of war. Eito has to beg her not to send her own father to the lobby via heart attack, but she still needs one final assurance. She hides behind the curtain like a horror movie victim, terrified of the answer. She asks if he really truly rejected every single one of them. Eito confirms he is still single. Hoshine lets out the heaviest sigh in human history. Crisis averted. Hoshine flips the switch to full drill sergeant mode. She threatens to make him smash every single cup in the mansion if he does not report to her properly. Talk about high stakes for dishware. Saved by the bell, literally. The clock chimes, snapping her out of it. She checks the time and decides to launch the operation right now. She grabs him and drags him through the hallway at Mach speeds. Eito is just trying not to trip, wondering why on earth they need to leave while the sun is still hitting the snooze button. Inside his head, the guy starts spiraling. He sees her weird mood and immediately assumes the worst. He thinks he failed his duties and is about to get fired, deleted from the payroll. Hoshine has to shut down this pity party before it starts. She sighs and admits that she is the one acting strange, not him. She decides to drop the act. She looks away, admitting there is one thing she wants so badly that it makes her lose all composure just thinking about it. When he asks what this legendary loot is, she tells him to look in a mirror. It is the easiest puzzle in the history of puzzles. But this guy has a brain made of Teflon. Nothing sticks. He completely misses the point and thinks she literally wants a high-end mirror. You cannot make this up. He starts shouting about glass specifications and frame quality. Hoshine realizes she played herself and tries to abort the conversation immediately. She cuts the jokes and gets serious, the atmosphere shifting instantly. She tells him that material possessions do not matter to her at all. It is all meaningless trash if she cannot lock down the one person she truly cherishes. She stares right at him, hoping the density of his skull does not block the signal this time. Since childhood, Hoshine was basically playing life on creative mode with cheats enabled. She had the loot, the massive castle, and the maxed out stats to snap her fingers and get whatever she wanted. But let's be real, winning every single game on easy mode gets lonely real fast. That changed when she found a glitch in the system, Eito. The guy was abandoned in the freezing snow, shivering like a leaf, so she decided to pick him up on a whim. She thought adopting a stray human would just fill an empty inventory slot, but she definitely didn't expect the premium DLC content that came with him. The guy absolutely refused to be a background NPC. He forced her to eat her veggies with a stern look, lectured her on her bratty attitude, and filled the role her absent parents couldn't be bothered with. He wasn't just a servant, he was the gravity keeping her feet on the ground while her head was in the clouds. But even geniuses get bullied. Hoshine was getting absolutely roasted by her classmates for being quote-unquote too perfect. Inside her head, she was terrified to tell Eito. She convinced herself he'd either pity her, or worse, think she was just complaining about suffering from success like some spoiled brat. Eito caught her sulking in the pouring rain, the water dripping off her nose, and he cut right through the noise. He didn't offer cheap sympathy. He just looked her dead in the eye and said, "You can do anything, my lady, but only because you actually put in the work." He redefined her entire existence in one sentence. He told her that her talent was actually just an insane amount of grinding and effort, and that was something to be proud of. He validated the hustle when everyone else just saw the high score at the end. He wiped the tears off her face and gave her the validation she didn't even know she was starving for. In that moment, Hoshine realized he was the one painting colors into her gray, monochrome world. Absolute core memory unlocked right there. Hoshine stares through the glass, counting confessions like landmines. Secret fans swarm, even rich poachers hovered. Her fingers clamp the sleeve hard. She calls out the ambush confessions as unfair, especially behind her back. She squares up, eyes blazing, swearing zero slack for thieving cats. Eito half turns, worried, testing her mood. She palms her cheeks, voice shaking, admitting she has liked Eito forever, longer than any challenger. Door slides? Eito leans in with a whisper. Preparations finished, weather on lock. She nods, gratitude steadying. She strides out, skirts swishing. Staff toss a good luck and a reminder to watch her steps. She reaches, but the power gap hits like a wall. He serves with respect, not freedom to confess. Hands almost meet over the railing. She vows not to exploit loyalty or crush both hearts for convenience. She grips a hand, heart thumping. Step 1, make him see her as a woman. They descend side by side. She plots a subtle flutter, one spark to snowball the whole romance. She locks in, promising a flawless plan. Eito grabs bag, clueless. If you want part 2, comment thieving cats below. Rain hits glass and Eito owns the call. Hoshine winces, thinking she should have read the clouds earlier. She drops the grenade. 0 umbrellas in the mansion. Eito double takes, thinking we're cooked, while she smirks. Her late night impulse sent every umbrella for repairs, and the car's down. Eito thinks. Luxury just speedrun inconvenience. Staff report taxis and hires are out too. Eito stares, thinking, weekday city gridlock with no cars is wild. He lines up fixes. Call the shop. Buy convenience umbrellas. She blocks. Family Image hates a 500 yen plastic. Eito's eyes spark. A thought clicks. There has to be a loophole hiding right behind them. Hoshine fishes her bag, flashes a folding umbrella like loot. She decides she'll solo commute, and Eito accepts, thinking, fair. The staff relax, smiles blooming. Eito nods, thinking, crisis dodged, but her princess pride stays undefeated. Rain pounds the street. Eito walks steady undercover, breathing slow, replaying her move like a quiet victory lap. If you want part 2, comment thieving cats below, and I got you. Eito tilts the umbrella just right while she hums, both sinking steps, cozy but cautious. She orders them to stick close under this tiny shield, shoulders brush, and he answers with nightly understood. She clamps onto his arm like a victory banner, purring perfect, while he steadies the umbrella like a pro. She romanticizes the rain, imagining a private world for two, chasing her parents' legend with starry confidence. She leans in boldly, eyes sparkling, daring him to flutter, and he backpedals hard, begging for personal space. She poses with practiced grace, thinking she leveled up since childhood, convinced her charm finally lands. Eye contact hits like a jolt, her confidence trips, cheeks flush, and the air turns electrically awkward. She measures him with her eyes, realizing he towers now, and her heartbeat stutters under the rain. Her gaze tours the details, sharp neckline, solid forearms, big knuckles, and interest spikes before she catches herself. He greets her politely, and she squeaks on reflex, mind racing, "This is not the same boy." He hooks her shoulder and reels her in undercover, voice calm, "Stay close or you are getting soaked." He notes her goofy gait like a coach, and she jolts, blushes hard, hands up, pride wobbling. She grabs his sleeve and declares a new plan. He should be the one losing composure over her. She grumbles at fate like it is trolling her, and he casually notes the rain might ease up. She wants control back, but the weather calls the shots. Comment Umbrella Legends for part 2. Hoshine spirals, thinking she waits too long. Another girl swoops, or worse, Eito already likes someone. She grips her skirt, crushes that doomed thought, tells herself the opposite might be true. Rain hisses, uniforms drip, and a single idea blares like neon. Maybe his crush likes him back. She rockets in, hair whipping, yells his name, heart pounding like a drumline under that rain. She yanks him tight under polka dots, cuts off his umbrella lecture, demands real answers, no stalls. He blinks hard, mouth half open, like, wait, what just hit me besides rain? She stammers once, breath catches, fires the question on her chest, why reject that confession? Eyes wet, voice shakes. She presses harder, terrified he already has someone sitting in his heart. Eito freezes, breath pauses, weighing words like landmines. He knows one wrong step detonates trust. He snaps the umbrella closed, chooses honesty, centers himself, no more fog, just straight answers. He reaches out and says his heart is already booked solid. He can't spare it for anyone. Hands clasped, he leans in, vows his whole life to his lady. Steady voice, zero hesitation, absolute commitment. She can accept that devotion or this vow rewrites everything tonight completely. If you want part 2, comment Umbrella Legends below, and I got you. Her breath catches, fingers inch forward, brain screaming danger, heart begging yes. He's steady, smiling, inviting trust. He clasps both hands and pledges service with full force. She watches, she's silent, weighing that devotion. He asks for complaints, panic flickers, she swishes closer, says none, relieved he's still himself. Walking pace slows, her thoughts tally rivals, confidence rises, maybe she's ahead, voice softens, calls his name. She draws a breath, eyes shine, loads a topic like a sniper loading hope, and says, "By the way." Heart gnawing, she asks if he'd accept another. He scratches his chin, admits life without her feels unreal. Her blush blooms, breath turns floaty, relief peeks out, but she still searches his eyes for something firmer. He smiles easy, admits others were stunning, a wasted chance. A version of him might have said yes. He plants that promise like a flag, says he'll never leave, and she short circuits, blushing hard. Anxiety spikes, she clamps his arm tight, brain marks enemy cat girls. He misunderstands and asks about an actual cat. She huffs to cover nerves, says it's nothing, decides she needs glow up to match his resolve. She squares her shoulders, vows to level her charm. He counters instantly, says she's already radiant right now. He stacks compliments like bricks, praises talent, kindness, and says she's the kindest soul in the universe. She rallies, voice sharp, don't misunderstand, without her he'd fall fast for that girl. If you want part 2, comment Umbrella Legends below. They pace through wet steps, she mutters. He checks timing. He thinks keep it light. She left early for rain. He decides to hype her. He crowns her intuition queen level. She boasts world domination. He nods, it is obvious. She taps her cheek, wears that smug smile, thinks of herself as built different, and owns it. She plants her feet, points up, declares war with brain, muscle, money, luck, and intuition, thinking every rival is content. He catches her wrist without thinking, assumes it is a game, and asks. Her face collapses into cute rage. She laces fingers, drags him forward, warns him to be ready, while scheming her next flirty approach in her head. If you want part 2, comment Umbrella Legends below and I'll drop it fast. Welcome to Private Tenjuin Academy, where the tuition probably costs more than a small island. It is a calm morning for the elite, right up until a luxury sedan pulls up and disrupts the peace. You can feel the atmosphere shift from casual to critical instantly. A guy rushes to help the passenger out, moving with the panic of someone defusing a bomb. The onlookers instantly crane their necks, practically snapping their spines just to catch a glimpse of who is inside. It is Tendu. She steps out with enough background sparkles to blind a commercial pilot. The crowd instantly melts, thanking the gods just for the privilege of witnessing her morning arrival. This is absolute queen behavior, and she knows it. The NPCs are absolutely obsessed. Perfect scores, national athlete, future corporate overlord. She is walking perfection. But the second someone spots Eito, the queen gets demoted to player 2. Tendo flinches and practically superglues herself to his arm. She is sweating bullets because the rumor mill is spinning out of control. Eito has been rejecting girls all week, which ironically only makes him more popular. 2 brave souls decide to risk it all. They rush in with flushed cheeks just to thank him for tutoring them. The man is a literal saint. Another fan praises his soccer skills, but he deflects the compliment like a pro. He refuses to take any credit. Then comes the danger. The girl tries to ask him to lunch, but Tendu reacts with godlike reflexes. She clamps her hand onto his arm, cuts the girl off with a fake apology, and forcibly removes him from the situation. Absolute defense. She sprints down the walkway, dragging poor Eito behind her like checked baggage. He is confused, but she knows the truth. The thieving cats are multiplying and she has to secure the asset before it is too late. They roll up to Class 1A, and the atmosphere is toxic enough to melt steel beams. Kazami tries to play the nice guy card, but Tendo is radiating pure do not perceive me energy. Eito tries to check in, but she shuts him down faster than a pop-up ad. Look at that face, she is definitely cooking up a scheme. Kazami pivots to his new grind set. He actually ditched the luxury whip for the train, specifically to hunt for external students. He is sick of the rich kids and wants to farm some fresh social links from the general population, like he is trying to 100% a dating sim. He admits the morning rush is a disaster where you get crushed like sardines in a tin. Tendu calls it stupid until the concept of forced proximity hits her brain like a truck. Look at that twitch in her eye. She just realized the tactical potential of being squished against a certain someone. She immediately interrogates him on the crowd density levels. Kazami warns her it is hell on earth, but for her, that is not a bug, it is a feature. She slams down the verdict. They are taking the train tomorrow, and she is not taking no for an answer. Kazami thinks she has lost her marbles, but this is 4D chess. She invites Eito, and her inner monologue reveals the master plan. Sharing an umbrella is awkward, but a packed train? That is legally mandated snuggling. She is weaponizing public transit for the sake of romance. Absolute genius. She looks up and swears to the gaming gods that she will win him over with nothing but pure charm. Then she immediately starts crunching the numbers, hunting for the single most overcrowded train car in the entire city. Her focus is on absolute maniac levels, but the universe has other plans. A messenger summons her to Class C. She walks in looking totally confused, only to find Eito waiting right there for her. He starts explaining the situation involving some girl he met earlier. Turns out, he went full hero mode and saved her from a persistent creep down at the station. But since the girl is apparently too shy to function in society, she forced her friend to deliver the thank you gift instead. Panic mode activated. Eito is still trying to piece the logic together when suddenly, slam. The door flies open and the friend sprints in like she is running from the cops. She does not even say hello, she just shoves the loot straight into his face. Swift execution. It is homemade cookies, a solid reward for basic human decency, but Tendo sees her opening. She announces the plan has changed. She is taking the train today. She marches off before he can even argue. The operation begins now. Tendo is absolutely spiraling inside her own head. She realizes she left Eito wide open for a thieving cat attack, and she is not having it. She whips out the Tendo family app and nukes the entire schedule. Waiting until tomorrow is a rookie mistake. The operation goes live right now. She drags him to the station at Mach speed, then freezes. Eito tries to be a gentleman, noting she actually knows how to use public transit. She tries to play it cool, but the blush on her face betrays her instantly. She claims it is just common sense, but let's be real, she is clearly winging it. Eito is still fussing, convinced she is too delicate for the subway life. The train pulls up and it looks totally empty, safe, quiet, boring. But just as he relaxes his guard, the floor starts vibrating beneath his feet. The doors slide open to reveal a literal mosh pit. It is packed tighter than a can of Spam. Eito immediately throws up a red flag, pointing out that the car right next to them is completely empty. Tendo completely ignores reality. She points to a tiny gap and claims it is perfect for two. Eito tries to argue the physics, but she stops listening. She plants her feet and shoves him into the crush just as the doors seal their fate. Inside the squeeze, Eito is panicking, but Tendo is laughing internally like a supervillain. She reveals the truth. This is not Rush Hour. It is a stage play. She rented the entire car and hired every single person here just to create a controlled environment. Absolute pay-to-win strats. She wastes no time and presses her body right up against his. If the other girl uses cookies, she uses a handmade crowded train. She is ready to force a romantic moment, but then she spots a glitch in the matrix. Her master plan blows up in her face instantly. Her brain short-circuits from the proximity, and she practically yeets herself at him. Eito has to snag her mid-air before she face-plants into the floor. The train lurches like it is in on the joke, slamming them together. Eito starts apologizing for the accidental culture moment, completely clueless that she engineered this entire disaster. On the inside, she is screaming into the void, but she refuses to back down. She knows if she runs away now, she is stuck at level 1 forever. She channels the courage of her rivals, clenches her jaw, and commits to the hug like it is a boss battle. Eito feels the squeeze and immediately asks if she has a fever. You cannot make this up, the density is off the charts. She ignores his medical diagnosis and tells him to quit holding back. She demands he protect her properly. She steps into his personal space until he can definitely hear her heart trying to escape her ribcage. That flips a switch in his brain. He slams his hand against the wall, trapping her with a textbook wall slam maneuver. He brushes a strand of hair from her face, and her ear twitches from the static. The air in the train car gets heavy enough to crush a soda can. He cups her cheek and drops the ultimate main character line. He vows to protect his lady. Judging by the look on her face, that line hit harder than Truck-kun on a busy intersection. Her brain completely short-circuits. She screams, "I surrender," loud enough to wake the dead. Eito looks around and realizes the entire crowd vanished instantly. Even the background characters didn't want to be part of this awkwardness. He rushes to check on her, assuming the crowded train made her dizzy. Classic dense protagonist energy. He thinks it is the humidity, not his overwhelming charisma. She refuses to look at him. With a face redder than a stop sign, she begs him to cut the eye contact. The man is simply too dangerous right now. Internally, she is celebrating the wall slam victory in 4 Kriya resolution. She swears she is going to conquer this man for real, but naturally, the plan backfires. Rumors spread about his heroic protection, and now every girl in school wants a piece of the action.